And we talk about this in coaching. And sometimes when you're a solo agent or you're by yourself, sometimes having a circle of people around you is really a big piece of being successful in this business.
Yeah.
Yes, you can be a solo agent, but you got to find a circle.
Hey friends, I'm Rosemary Lewis, your homegirl, and I'm so excited that you are here. I do not care what it looks like on Instagram or HGTV. This whole being a realtor thing is not for the faint at heart. In 2017, I quit my job as a teacher to follow my real estate dreams and quickly found myself overwhelmed and struggling. Fast forward to today. Not only have I been recognized as one of the leaders in our industry, I have actually grown a business that I absolutely love. I don't care if you're a brand new agent trying to figure out how to get started or a veteran feeling overwhelmed and just stuck. I was just like you, and I totally get it. Many times I wish there was someone that I could just talk to about all the challenges I was facing. And that is why I created this space just for you. Like best friends do, I'm giving you all the tea related to navigating and thriving in these real estate streets. If I can do it, guess what? That's proof that you can too. Everything's better with friends, so let's succeed together. Welcome to the Real Estate Bestie podcast. Well, hello there, besties. I am super duper excited for today's podcast because I am going to introduce you to somebody that I originally met at the Real Estate Bestie Retreat. And let me just tell you, my life has been blessed by her over the past few months because she took the leap. And not only did she attend the retreat, not knowing what to expect, but has joined us in Accelerator coaching. And it has been such a pleasure just to watch her grow and develop and just, just do her thing. So welcome, TaKisha.
Hey, besties. Thank you so much for having me on today. I'm excited to have this conversation today.
Yes, I am excited to have you on. So first of all, tell the besties, I just want you to give them like a 30-second, maybe 60-second intro to who you are and how you started in real estate.
I am a retired Air Force veteran with 22 years of service, mom of two. One is a college graduate of Prairie View A&M. Yes, the other one is now attending VCU. And after retiring out of San Antonio, Texas at Lackland Air Force Base, I decided I wanted to keep serving the community. So I decided to do real estate and do what I love doing is serving people. So that's how I chose to do real estate.
I love that. I love that. So first of all, let me back up and tell you, thank you so much for your dedicated service to our country. And listen, come on, mama, you didn't graduated one kid. You got your, I know you're empty. I know all this because you're in coaching, but you're empty nester now. And a big part of your why is just creating space for your children so that they can go to college and not have to worry about finances and things like that. So when did you get licensed?
December of 2019.
Okay. Right. Yes. Okay. So you get licensed and then COVID happened.
Yes. So I took a little break. I got my license 2019, December, waited to kick things off January of 2020. I joined a brokerage and they put me into a mentor program. So I'm going through mentorship and, I'm doing all the things I'm supposed to be doing, focused, and I'm working with clients. I start getting business. And boom, I'm about to start working with my very first client and they want to see a house. And we're listening to all the news and I'm like, hey guys, maybe we should wait a week before we go. Let's see what this is all going to happen, what's going to pan out. And they're like, okay, and then next thing you know, we're considered essential workers in San Antonio, Texas. So I'm like in gloves and mask and glasses. I look like I was still in my military Kim gear because we used to wear Kim gear to train. That's what I looked like when I went out showing houses. But I stuck with it and I got those clients under contract. So within 6 months of starting, I had 3 people under contract and I had my first 3 closings June of 2020.
Okay. 3 closings in 1 month.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. That is so amazing. And because I know you and I know how you go and get after it, it honestly doesn't surprise me that that is how you started. But like anything, right? The real estate looks a lot different in real life than what it looks like on the social media. And you experienced that firsthand because then you ended up relocating. Tell me how that came to be.
So 2020 business is booming. December of 2020, I was home for Christmas. Took the chance. Me and my daughter flew home.
And where's home?
Virginia. I'm sorry.
Virginia. Okay, you went to Virginia.
It's my state of home now, and this is where I'm originally from. And I came to visit, and we found out my father was sick. He is now a cancer survivor. So I dropped everything because through my 22 years of service, whenever I needed support, my mom and dad was there for me with my kids. Anytime I had to go TDY or needed support for whatever reason, they dropped what they had for me and my kids. So this is my chance to come back and give back to them. So 21, being a real estate agent, I know people say this is crazy. I surfed the internet. I found a builder in Virginia, found my floor plan, and I chose to build my house just off of a floor plan that I matched up for a builder in Virginia that matched my house in Texas. And because new construction is one of my niches, and I signed contract January of 21 and relocated back to Virginia in July of 21. And I got my license.
So if I'm tracking, it sounds like you got your license in 2019, then COVID happens. And then you're like, that's okay. I'm still out here closing these deals. Then you're doing great in 2020. Daddy gets sick. Are you a daddy's girl?
I am.
Okay. I feel you. So daddy gets sick. You're like, you know what? So not only am I starting a new business, after the new business gets booming, I'm going to shut it down and start it in another city so that I can be there and support my dad. Mm-hmm. I just want to stop right there. Number one, to commend you for doing that. But what a blessing not this job, but this thing that we get to do, right? This career is, because it's all about mindset. Like, you didn't say, okay, well, I need to go home to take care of my parents. I guess that's the end of real estate. You figured out how to make it do what it's supposed to do there, right?
Yes. So I love transitioning. I still have clients in Texas that I'm servicing from afar because I communicated with them. Hey, this is what's going on. I'm still going to be able to service you from afar. They all understood. I got the ones that needed, that were going to closed. And then I had one or two that were still kind of on the back end, and we did it virtually. They understood. Got my license November of 21 here in Virginia. And then I started transactions or, got with a brokerage here, which was tough because it was like, whew, what do I do? And here's the other kicker. I am now like, wait a minute, it's way more expensive to live in Virginia than it is to live in Texas. And I need a job. So now I'm managing a job, which is remote, and trying to build my business as part-time agent.
Wow. So why didn't you quit real estate? Like, doing all that, like, I just think that there will probably be a lot. And of course, I'm actually like, I know the answer, but there has to be a bestie listening, like, okay, maybe the writing was on the wall that this isn't for you. Why did you keep pushing?
Because it's where my heart is at. It's where my passion. I really think this is what I was supposed to be doing. And each day that it gets tough, God reminds me, this is what you're supposed to be doing. Because there's been some bumps and some bruises that I'm just like, man, I don't want to do it. I give up. I don't. And then something will happen. Someone will call me and say, hey, TaKisha, I was referred to you for whatever reason. Or a past client will call me and say, girl, I am loving my house. Thank you. Something will always pop up that just reminds me why I'm still doing this. And that's why
I love that. I love that. And one of the very first things, if anyone has ever, whether it's my team or has done a course with me or we do coffee, they're interested in real estate, my number one question is, what is your why? And it has to be even deeper than for my kids and my family and financial freedom and time, all that surface stuff that we say, because at the end of the day, like, you could have made money on that job, right? There are ways which is and did, and it probably was easier, but you have to be crystal clear on why you feel called to this space, because on those days where you just, and we're going to get into it. You just recently had one of those days. It has to be something greater because this is a business of service. And I love that and God is so intentional. He will give you winks in our weak moments of, okay, this is exactly why I have you here. And I know you said that when you were in a weak moment, you're surfing YouTube one day, and then what popped up?
Yes. It wasn't YouTube. It was podcast. It was
Okay. It was podcast. Okay.
Yeah. So as I was struggling in 23, because 22 was bumpy, 23 came around. We had the interest rate shoot up and it was crazy. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to do this no more. I can't. This is crazy. Why are you doing this? Just go find a job again. Because by this time I didn't mention, but my contract job it was about to end.
Okay.
It was about to end. And it was like, okay, well, do I keep trying to find a job or do I go back? I was like, what do I do? And my broker at the time, she was my team lead, and she was like, hey, I usually listen to podcasts. I'm like, what, girl? Who rides around their car and listen to podcasts? Anyway, I'm going to try it. So I was like, what is this podcast thing? So I'm Googling real estate and I put in a few words and your face pops up. And I'm like, okay, she look like me. Let me see what she talking about. And I push play and it's like, if you ever been in real estate, how your intro goes. I'm like, wait a minute. So I start listening. I'm like, And I just start listening to you. And it's like, man, she's really talking about a lot of the stuff that I've been through. And then you mentioned that you were talking about it. This is how long I've been listening to you. Cause it was like, you were just in the planning stages of the real estate Bestie retreat. And I'm like, I gotta be in that room. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but we're gonna figure it out. So I kept listening. That's why I kept listening to you too. Cause I was like, when's she gonna have this retreat and when it's gonna be announced? And I'm one of those people, even though I've been in the military, I'm still nervous about traveling and going somewhere to do something by myself. So it was definitely something I did because I didn't know anybody else that was going to do it. And I'm like, I'm going. So I had told one friend about it. But just as we were listening to your call one day, found out two of my other friends were going to be there that were military with me as well. I'm like, perfect. I won't be there by myself. And I went and I was like, this is amazing.
So I want to back up because we will have another real estate Bestie retreat. So don't worry, people. We are not trying to get you to buy a retreat ticket. However, I know from my own personal experience that there is something so magical with being in the room. I mean, I do a couple podcasts every week. We have a YouTube video. What made you say, you know what, I need to take it a step further and make this investment in myself and get in the room? And then what does it feel like on the other side of getting in a room, right? The right room.
So being in the room, being around people and someone that's going through some of the things or have been in the mix of what you're going through. I've listened to other real estate speakers or been around but it's just not the same. So it's a difference when it sounds like they're going through something that is relatable to you.
Yeah.
Because real estate is not easy. And being in a room where sometimes real estate is not easy. And yes, I'm retired military. So everybody says, oh, you need to make X amount of figures, or you need to do this, or you need to do it this way, or you should do this way. But hearing someone talk about it in a way that I felt I could make this work for me and what my goals were was why I felt like I needed to be in that room.
Yeah.
Because at that time, it sounded like I wasn't going to be forced to do a structured way of how everybody's always did it.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're like, but how can I make it my own?
Yes.
No, I love it. And I remember the moment. It was the end of day one. Well, technically day two. Yes. And you were in line to speak with one of our speakers that we had. And I walked past you and just, hey, Bestie, how's everything going? And you teared up on me. I was like, wait, what happened? What happened? And then shortly after, I was crying with you. Do you remember what you said to me?
I said, I just have to tell you that this has been amazing. And I wanted to let you know, keep doing what you're doing because we all need to hear what you're sharing.
Yeah.
And I told you my story, and that's when we both started crying together.
Yes, because you said I have just been applying the things that I'm learning on the podcast and I'm working my butt off. And from the year previous, that was so hard, right? Because this is the beginning of
Yes.
2024. You were like, I have 14 closed and pending
Yep.
already for this year. And I was like, "What?" Like, I love it because what
Yeah.
you did oftentimes people I'm people too. Like I have been in this space where I have gotten the information but haven't always done a great job of executing and applying. And it's when we get consistent with the small things and start executing that has been the difference maker in my life. Has that been the same for you as well?
Absolutely. And it's people miss it. It can be just something small
Yep.
that can just change. And the biggest small change that I did was stop looking at what everybody else is doing. Focus
Preach.
on me and what worked for me. I was trying to do things, my niche is, like I said, is new construction. My niche was, being coming from San Antonio and being a veteran myself was VA buyers. So those were my niche. However, being in Richmond, you don't see as many, or I wasn't coming across as many VA buyers as I had before. And it was a struggle. And I was like, okay, well, let me learn this, or let me go this way, or let me do this because this person's doing. And I was like, skirt.
Yep.
Stop.
Yep.
Stop. You're stressing yourself out. You're chasing business and you don't want to do that. So the way I shifted was I started continuing to market myself. And now 50% of my business is referrals of my military sphere of influence, friends and family who are moving that's military. And I still get to work with VA buyers that way. And I'm picking up new construction still here with people who want to build, and that's how I market myself. And, I still do other transactions. I'm still familiar with that, but I just continue to market myself based off of what I know and what my niche and what I felt very comfortable with. And I stopped looking at what everybody else is doing and did what works for me.
No, I love it. I love it. You just started doubling down on what has been working. And you also did something else that I'm so proud of you for is that you joined us in coaching.
Yes. That was, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm on my phone, keying in my credit card numbers going. It's a lot. Because I'm not gonna say cheap, I'm frugal. As a
Okay.
single
Okay.
mom,
I
you
get
gotta
it.
watch every penny. And I'm
I get
like,
it.
ugh.
Yeah.
But you just gotta get these people to the closing table.
Yep. Yep.
And man, going through transactions, and there was one, can I share?
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead. Let's talk about it. Let's talk
There's
about it.
been two since I've been in coaching. One, there was a situation, I won't get into details, but we have our circle, we have a boxer, and I dropped in. I'm like, hey guys, this just happened. What do I do? I'm like, I don't know. What do I do? And as soon as I dropped, it was like, do this. And I'm like, why didn't I think of that? I should have known that. And I reverted. And that is a key piece too. And we talk about this in coaching. And sometimes when you're a solo agent or you're by yourself, sometimes having a circle of people around you is really a big piece of being successful in this business.
Yeah.
Yes, you can be a solo agent, but you got to find a circle. And I will say, when I was in San Antonio, when I first started, I did have what I call a sister circle. We had a circle of agents that we work with. Coming here to Virginia, it's been a little tough trying to find that. And that's another reason why I invested in coaching, because I do know that was something that you mentioned that was part of the coaching program. So that's why I invested in it, because I definitely needed that support. And I do have it, but it's small here. But being a part of it is great. And then I just recently, you mentioned it earlier, I just had another transaction that as we were going through, I was working with this client and they said something and I was like, we were in coaching. I'm like, hey, this, that, and the other. And Rosemary's like, adapt your communication. And I wrote it down. So the next time I talked to this client, I was like, adapt your communication, adapt your communication. And I'm like, yeah, change how you talk to each person. And, everybody's different. Everybody's going through something, especially, when you're buying a house in one place and you're moving to another. So that's part of being a, relocation specialist. Moving from place to place, you're dealing with people that has something on one end that they're dealing with that they got to deal with. So you just know how to adjust and adapt.
Yeah.
We got through it. We got them under contract and it happened.
Yeah. I love what you're saying because, even me, I was the type of person, and I hear this, besties. I know that you all are probably going to say this too. I just need a mentor. I need, somebody to help show me the ropes. And there are different ways to get and seek mentorship in real estate. But there is something to be said about, and this is just even me. Like, I have a coach that every time it's not like this anymore. When I used to think about how much I paid her, I would throw up in my mouth. But because of the investment that I made, and listen to what I'm going to say, in myself, right? I wanted to invest in myself, into this business, and what I have been able to do in my own personal coaching, and what I know and pray that you all continue to do in Accelerator coaching, is I've been able to minimize the mistakes, right? Having somebody who has been where I am looking to go, they have a different level of bird's eye view that, she can look at things from the 30,000 foot mark. Same thing with y'all's business, right? There are some things that you all will be working through. And because I've had that direct experience, it's the small tweaks, even in how we think about it, how we approach the business, how we communicate with each other. Because you might have your homies that you're friends with, but do I really want my homie to know exactly the ugly that I'm dealing with in this transaction? And like, I got some great friends that make a lot of money in real estate, but they might pop all the way off. Like, it might not be the sound coaching, direction that I need in those moments. So I'm so proud of you for making the investment in coaching. So tell me, what has that done for you? Like, let's just talk about confidence. Let's talk about this, because these are things that people talk about. How has coaching helped you show up more confidently in the business?
The one thing is what you just said, confidently showing up in my business. Coming to a new state, new city, walking into rooms before of like, how do I make it here in a new city where I really don't know anyone? And now walk in a room, I know this just as well as you do.
Yep.
I know this just as well as you do. I know all the acronyms. I know, I can get this business and I can get this done. I'm great at what I do.
Yep.
I'm good at, I take a lot of the things that the military taught me and I implement it into my business model. I'm going to take care of my people and meaning my clients. So the things that I've learned also in coaching is just having systems, which comes from, having systems, things that I learned in the military. A lot of the stuff that I tried to flush out of my mind from the military, I'm learning back in coaching. A lot of that stuff, Keisha, you can implement. Structure. It's okay to have structure. Structure is good.
It is good. And I'm with you though, because I think that you have a military background. I have a teaching background. Yep. And I'm not here to say teaching is anywhere near as structured as the military. Okay. But I will say that I definitely, like, part of what attracted me to real estate was the flexibility, but the flexibility can be so dangerous. And having, systems and processes, and like proven systems and processes, right? That's another benefit. Like, if I've already created a system that is working, instead of you all starting from scratch, you get my systems, you get the processes, you get the support. And what we find out is that the structure on our terms actually provide all the freedoms that we're looking for in life and in the business. Would you agree?
Absolutely. And something else, that I've gotten from coaching is I was like, I'm retired. I don't have to get up at 7:00 anymore. I don't have
Talk about it.
And that is something I've truly gotten out of coaching is, girl, get up. Get your butt up. Stop talking about what you ain't going to do and get up. Number one, I'm still struggling. I'm putting the phone in another room.
It's still an area of opportunity. Let's change our words. It's still your area of opportunity to put your phone away, not to get on the phone in the morning. But
so I've improved on not scrolling as much. So in the morning, because I'm guilty of waking up and the first thing is looking on Instagram or Facebook. But that is something I learned in coaching. So that has been an area of opportunity to improve, and I've gotten better. So I'm up and I have a schedule that I'm focused on, and that has helped me improve in my business. So those are things that I've picked up in coaching and having the accountability. Because if I'm not up and moving by a certain time, ping, 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 my phone starts to go. I'm like, okay, I'm late. Now I got to be moving so that's another piece of the accountability accelerated coaching is you have accountability from the rest of your people. We also have some other things that's going on right now. I won't tell too much, but that's making you be like, wait a minute. You mean tell me I got to report what I'm doing? Oh, because now I really got to show up, which is going to help me improve and keep my pipeline going. Because most recently with another transaction, something just happened that if your pipeline is piping,
right,
if something happens, you ain't got to worry about it.
Yep. Yeah. We don't have to have commission breath and we don't have to be overwhelmed because it's like, hey, I'm doing the activities and I'm making it do what it do. Yes. So I love it. So our rhythm. So one thing I just want to share with y'all, Bestie. So when we coach, we have a couple sessions a month. I do direct coaching, like I coach on specific skills. We role play, and then we have prayer and accountability calls. Which of those? I'm just curious, TaKisha. Like, is there one of those formats that you like more than the other, or what's something that may have been different that you hadn't experienced in any other program like this that you think sets us apart from other programs?
I like it all. I will say it was tough because when we first started, I was going through the process. My daughter is graduating from high school. So I felt bad because I had summer and trips and all this. And I love the fact that it was recorded and I could jump right back in. Right.
Yeah.
But the best, I think for me, I do love the prayer piece because being in this business is tough.
Mm-hmm.
I think that has truly been a covering for me. I love the role playing because, again, one of my transactions, we role played it through and I exercised it and I got the person under contract and it all worked out.
I remember that. Yeah, y'all. So this is what happened. Like you literally were like having an appointment. It was one of your clients, and you're talking through, what the challenge was. And I was like, okay, let's role play it right now. And we were able. How did practicing with your coach, your besties, prepare you for that conversation in real life?
I wasn't afraid to have that conversation with my clients. So when I showed up for that appointment that day, I was able to say what I needed to say gracefully.
Yep. Not on the spot, not stumbling.
Yes. I was able to say what I needed to say. They understood. That particular day, that house didn't work. But the next time, based off that feedback, we found something else. And it was part of the role play and some of the tips. And we got the house under contract.
Look at God. Won't he do it? Won't you do it? Because there is one thing, but seriously, it's one thing to have faith. And this is where I am in like just even my quiet time with the Lord is like, it's one thing to have faith, but it's another thing to put the works behind the faith. And I even think about the real estate bestie retreat. Like there was a moment where I was having like, I have this idea and I look at the numbers, like when I looked at what I needed to invest up front to make it happen, it scared me, it scared me, but I was like, do you believe it? Like, do you believe that what I have tasked you to do is for my will, is for my purpose? And there was a moment where I had to be like, okay, I don't know what's going to happen, but I have to make this investment. And what I experienced there, I mean, it's brought you into Bestie and into my life. And I'm just so grateful for that. And I'm grateful that you too have made investments in yourself and your business and in your life.
And I want to just say one thing too is no matter the coach that you have to be coachable and willing to put in the work and take.
You better preach.
Take the tips that someone is sharing with you and put them to work.
Yep.
If you don't put in the work or tips, and even, I just mentioned like my team lead and she's my broker. Some of the things she shared, you share with me, implementing those things, putting those things into play, the things that I've learned myself and taking what y'all given me, taking the accelerated coach, stepping into accelerating coaching, swiping my card, taking that leap, coming in and saying, I know I can't be here right now, but I'm going to listen to these plays later, finding the things, showing up, getting out of bed, texting my accountability partners, being in the Voxer, even some days when I didn't want to, even the days that I didn't feel like it. I made the investment in myself, and it's turning and it's showing up. So you have to, once you swipe that card and make that investment, you still got to show up for yourself.
No, I love it. I love it. Well, what is next for you, TaKisha? Like, what is next? What are you hoping for, praying for, working towards in your business?
Following my strategic map and staying the course, because over the next, things are going to start, the fourth quarter is when things somewhat taper off, which I don't think for me is going to taper off too much.
I don't think so either. No. That is when, your fourth quarter, maybe that's the way you did business before you was with us. Your fourth quarter is all about finishing strong and setting you up for success for next year. Yeah.
Because I already have 2 under contract right now for next year closing.
You better.
So it's continuing to, keep working on things so that I have a stronger year next year. So that's what I'm focused on is closing out this year strong and building things and putting things into play that all the clients that I took care of this year, to make sure that I stay in contact with them, making sure I continue to touch them, continue to support, and to build my business, to make sure that I continue serving people and preparing for a bigger year next year. That's what's on the table.
Amen. Well, I am so excited to continue to work alongside you. Now, if the besties, if they want to contact you
and join Accelerating Coaching again.
Oh, you better.
I'm coming back.
You coming back. Look, it is open. Well, hey, you just gave me a great pivot, because if you are listening to this podcast and you're like, you know what they talking about? I need that accountability. I need that coach who's going to really care about, and I tell y'all all the time, I care about your business, but I care more about you, and that you get to show up and really unlock the gifts God has placed inside of you, like no fear, with an army of women behind you supporting you. If you're like, I need that, I need these systems, I need the support, let's just hop on a call. Literally easy peasy, the same way you hear TaKisha and myself talking. Let's hop on a call. Go to rosemarylewis.com/call, and we can book it and we can see if it's a good fit. And if it's not a good fit, guess what? You got the podcast, you got the YouTube channel, you have all of these other places. But I think it's just important to make the commitment and plugging in where you need to plug in so that you can get the results you want. And speaking of results, if you want some results for your people, like if you need a bomb referral agent in Virginia,
yes,
yes, let them know how they can get in contact with you.
I am on Instagram as TaKisha Ruffin Realtor, and that's TaKisha F as in Frank, IN Realtor. Same on Facebook, TaKisha Ruffin Realtor, and I'm also on LinkedIn, TaKisha Ruffin Realtor. I am awesome as a referral partner. I send a lot of referrals out. So I would love to support any of your partners or buyers or sellers here in the Richmond, Virginia area. Look forward to connecting.
No, I love it. Okay. And I'm going to let you sign off. What would you say to that person that is like, I don't know, should I book a call with her? I don't know. Is Rosemary going to be acting funny? Should I call? What would you say to them?
So I talked about this before, but I didn't really give you an explanation. I say jump. And I believe in this. And when I say jump, I say joy under my purpose. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by that is I believe in a higher power. He gives you your passion and your purpose. He assigns you your passion and your purpose. And as you're walking around on this earth, which he sits at a higher level above you. So you're serving below him in your purpose. And you should be walking on this earth in your joy. So always jump with your joy under my purpose.
All right. So, hey, if you're ready to jump, I'm here to catch you. rosemarylewis.com/call. TaKisha, I love you so much. I am so grateful for you. And I'm just excited to continue walking alongside you. And I just love that we are real life besties.
Thank you.
Bye, girl.
Bye.
If you enjoyed this episode and you have a real life bestie that you think it would resonate with, Y'all, do me a favor. Go ahead and hit that share button because you know what? We are better together. Make sure you share the podcast, and I appreciate your reviews. I appreciate you giving me 5 stars more than you know. I'll talk to you next week.